For the ones that don't know me or have not been in consultation directly with me during your process, I'm Daniel Simon, co-founder with Luis Capitano of the Facial team. And we wanted to use this opportunity that we have today with you. We are talking now, this is a closed webinar specifically for the patients that are already in the process of waiting surgery with the Facial team. And I wanted to use it to talk to you about what is our predictions of what's going to happen now in the next months, and also to tell you a bit what has happened during this year, so that you get a good feeling about this waiting not being in vain, because we have been working a lot in the last year to improve a lot of things in our process, to improve Facial team. I wanted to show you a bit what we have done, and I'm going to tell you also a bit what we are doing right now to help you to accelerate the process of coming, and to help you even facilitate the process of coming. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you for a second. Lilia, can you confirm if I'm sharing?
Yes, you are.
Perfect. Okay.
Now it's in presentation mode.
Very nice. Very nice. Perfect. Good. So first of all, I would like to let you know that we are a center in a small city in Spain, but USA and Canada right now work for us as almost half of the patients that we operate every year. Okay, this is we give a lot of importance to our patients from North America. We try to travel there every year, as most of you know. We go in person to both countries. So we have been working very much to help patients specifically from North America to be able to come to us now during the pandemic and already preparing for after pandemic. Okay. Before I tell you what we are doing right now, I would like to tell you something that I believe it's important. Facial team has not been in panic or frozen during the COVID situation that lasted almost a year for us here. Okay, we have been not able to perform one surgery between March and July almost. So the hospital was completely blocked because of many reasons, as you may understand. We needed to prepare the staff, we needed to prepare the facilities, we needed to, well, there was no flights as well, so we needed to stop completely the activities. Most of our equipment was also seized by governments because of the possibility of having to use the respirators, the breathing tubes. So it was not a good moment from March to June. But from March, starting that moment, we already started a process of working by updating our science. Most of you know, but Facial team is it's a large group of surgeons, and we are a group and not one individual, because we believe in teamwork, and teamwork is the best way to produce science. And when we are doing everything that we do at Facial team with a large volume of patients that we operate every year, we collect a lot of data. All the patients are photographed, 3D photographed, CT scan. Then we have pictures on the intra-op, pictures on the post-op, measures that we do digitally. So there's so much data that would be a pity if Facial team would not be one of the strongest publishers about facial feminization for the medical community. Okay, so we have been doing this since 2012 approximately, but this year was very strong because we had more time in our hands and we have been working a lot. So one of the strongest scientific articles that we published in April 2020 was on PRS, which is this magazine called Plastic Reconstructive Surgery. Is the most has the most impact in plastic surgery in the world, is American, and we expose our protocol for diagnosis, surgical planning, and post-operative management. It's like a manual for surgeons around the world of how to receive your patients and prepare your patients for FFS. We talk about from the moment of counseling to hormone treatment. We talk about all the phases that you have on this process, all this with real data from real patients, from a large experience that we have here in Marbella. Okay. Then another article that came then in June 2020 was the prospective quality of life outcomes. Okay, this was a beautiful article because it was not done only by Facial team, but it was done in collaboration with 2 universities in the United States. We did it together with Stanford and together with the Washington University. What we did together with them was to use a medical questionnaire that was given to a lot of patients, and all those patients, they have to score the impact that FFS had in their quality of life. This is an important document because it's one of the possibilities is that it's going to be used by patients when they are looking for funds for their FFS, calling it public or for private insurance. But these are the typical documents that show scientifically the real impact this surgery has on their lives, and showing that this is not a cosmetic procedure. This is something that is really important for the patients. Okay, this was the results we got in the study, and it was in the pre-op. This 47.2 over 100 was the score they would give about their face regarding feminization. 75 was already 2 weeks post-op, and the average was 80 on the 6 months post-op. So we almost double the perception that patients had about their own femininity on the face. So we are now with 2 articles that are already accepted by the PRS as well. They are now impressed. We're waiting for the publication only. One was where we described how was our activities at Johns Hopkins in 2019, when we did our second training for surgeons, and we decided to publish the process of that workshop. It was a beautiful symposium where we received surgeons from all around the world. We gave them cadaver lab sessions as well, and we published how was this symposium. And another very nice one was also that is also impressed now. It's called Masking Gender. It's a text that we wrote talking about the effect of the pandemics during facial recognition. We detected in many consultations that we have been doing in the last months that many patients would tell us that wearing a mask was causing more misgender episodes. So I wanted to write a bit about it and tell what's going on and why does this happen. And we explain, of course, the importance that facial recognition has when you focus on the eye area. And this is an area where it's more exposed, of course, during the use of the mask. And also when you're using a mask, you are hiding other areas that maybe are already very feminine, like your nose, like your lips, or like your chin. So we wrote this article, and it's very interesting. It will be available as well. We also wrote a letter reply to comments that we got on one of our articles, and one of the most powerful articles that we have written in the last years is going to be published in the beginning of next year. It is called The Lower Jaw, and this is the article that sums up all Facialteam's experience since the beginning, since around 2009, 2008, where we show everything we have done and how we evolved in lower jaw surgery up to the point we are now, that is a surgery done with 3D cutting guides. Okay, we are now with 2 articles that are still under review that we are waiting. One is showing the impact of virtual FFS in surgery. Is for you that you don't know what it is when you have the pictures of patients and we are able to simulate the possible results, and we wanted to see how realistic this is, and we made a study about it as well. And another one that is very nice is the eye tracking article. Is also a collaboration with American universities, where we detect which areas of the face people look at to identify gender first. So it's a beautiful article that is going to be also available soon. Good. So
Simon.
Yes.
So how many scientific articles have been published so far since beginning the research and development department?
Oh, now good question, Lilia. I don't know, because we are, of course, we are over 15 or 20 works, because we also have written at least 2 book chapters. So we have been doing a lot of work. There's also one thing that is important. Publishing something can go from something very simple, like publishing a case report. So I operate someone and I have a good result and I can publish that. Or you can have articles that are really heavy, showing a method, exposing a history. So we prefer to use articles of more impact, articles where we talk of an N or an amount of patients that are always over 800 patients or 1,200 patients, because these articles, they then become more palpable, and other surgeons, which are the people that read these, more medical professionals, they can have more guarantee that what they are reading is real, more impactful. but we have been doing articles every year. This year was a record, I believe, because of the pandemic, and we had a little bit more time in our hands to sit, write, and organize the information.
Excellent. Yeah, you've all been very busy. Dr. Simon,
Yes.
ajusta un poco la pantalla para que no vea tanto espejo.
Okay, like this?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, of course, together with the, let me see here, just a second. Okay, now I see myself. I was not seeing myself. So together with the work we did with the articles, then parallel to it, we have been doing a preparation to be able to receive our patients during and post-pandemic, because there is a situation that we have been living in the last months where airlines reestablish movement, people can get out of their homes, but with all the restrictions that we all understand. So we needed to develop what we call the COVID safe protocol. Okay, the COVID safe protocol is a protocol that we developed to be able to receive any patient from any country, and we can take this patient through the process of pre-op, surgery, post-op without getting COVID. This is the first important thing. Not only the patients, but the protocol is also applied to all the staff. So we have been now for since the beginning with of the protocol, no case of COVID, nor in patients, nor in staff. Okay, let me go here. We have operated now more than 100 patients from 28 countries since the beginning of the protocol. We have had 360 COVID tests, 0 positives, and we have done more than 55 first consultations in Marbella. Okay, we do, as you know, more than 100 consultations per month on Skype, but we have had 55 people that travel to us to Marbella just for a consultation. Okay.
I just wanted to interject here that in the group, someone is mentioning what we were talking about just before we began this webinar, is that the New York Times just broke news of the first vaccines that are being given for healthcare workers. So that's great news. And I just also would like to say that these images that we're seeing now are the statistics from September, from June to September. So actually it's even more than 360 tests and more than 55 people that have come to Marbella.
Yes. Here. Good. So yes, it is a protocol that is very clear. The patients receive it in a very organized way. We will orientate from travel to receiving you, to the testing, to the normally precautions. We have had already patients that shared their experience with us in the COVID period online on YouTube. And Lilia is going to share with you the channel if you want to see some testimonials talking about the safety, how it was here in Marbella. And our latest advancement, our latest new thing was the advisory, the Facialteam COVID advisory. So what is this? We started to see that despite the fact that every country has their own restrictions, this was very, very dynamic. Every day something changed, and then Spain with America changed something, and then Spain with England changed something, but then Germany changed something with England. So we decided to create an intra-group inside Facialteam from the patient coordinators, from our own staff, that now monitors the situation very closely to each country, but not only monitors the situation, but it's in touch with all the patients that are booking surgery with us already to help them get access to Spain. This, of course, is different from a patient coming from the UK, from a patient coming from Australia or Canada. But the good news is that doing active efforts on this matter, we are getting amazing results, and we are having American patients and Australian patients coming into Marbella for surgery. Okay, it is not easy, but with our help, we have good chances of obtaining this. And I'm talking now only about this period now, where there are still restrictions for American and Canadians to come inside Marbella. But even during this period, there are ways. We have been preparing all the documents that you need. We work together with the consulates, and we have already a direct connection with a person in the Ministry of Health that reviews all the cases that have been denied in the consulate. So we are doing a lot of things that we can, everything we can to help you come, or in January, February, or March, or a little bit later, when I believe there will be much less, there will be less restrictions. Okay. We are monitoring more than 45 countries, but at the same time, as I told you, we have direct communication with the patients that are that need our help. And of course, we have been working this the last month to prepare our workshop. We do a workshop for medical professionals or professionals in transgender health. We do a workshop every year in Marbella, and this year it was a challenge because I had to produce it online, but it's going to be very nice. It's going to be in March. We are receiving professionals from all over the world to talk about trans health, genital surgery, and of course facial surgery. And we have a very nice team that is going to be with Marcy Bowers, Georgievich, Stan Monstray, Lawrence Schechter, the facial team group as well, Dr. Kuhn. So it's going to be a beautiful group of people. Even Dr. Brassard is going to be with us. So it's going to be amazing, okay? And this is all things that we do, again, to try to spread more information and try to create a stronger network between the professionals that are considered the best ones on their field, so that the patients, they can find easily or an easier way where to go for their treatments, okay? Let me see here. Just going to stop my screen so you can see me now. Good. So this is what I wanted to talk to you about, what we have been doing, what we have done, that we have not, as I told you, we have not stopped working. On the contrary, we have worked a lot. If there are patients here that have businesses, they know how difficult it is to have a business where you have departments, employees, processes, and we have been looking inwards to improve all that. So what I can tell you for sure is that we want you to come in a safe way, of course. And if you arrive in Marbella, when you come to us, you will find a much improved facial team, not only regarding COVID protection, but regarding all the processes, all the way we have now from receiving you. The science is improved, the technical surgeries are improved. So we are really eager to receive you here, and we ask you a little bit more patience. I know how frustrating it is for you, but we ask you a little bit more patience, okay?
Thank you, Dr. Simon. That was fantastic. And we have a couple of questions here in you. First, we've been asked, someone in here watching has written to the Spanish embassy and it is waiting, I think, and is curious what the expectation is of that getting approved. Yeah, well, we are, when we started the process, we still needed to understand ourselves, how did they work? So we are in touch with people inside the consulates and embassies. So you have to talk to your coordinator. Your coordinator is going to be very much updated with everything. But I understand that if you present it to your consulate, probably you have already documents from us. So we will keep giving you this. I can tell you that we are now very optimistic about the approvals. But at the same time, as we told, if there is denials, we have also other ways of trying to reverse these denials. So yes, we are optimistic. And as I told you in the beginning, this is so dynamic that I think that now in a couple of weeks or even a week, there's going to be the new meeting where they decide again the movement between America and Schengen area. We'll see what happens by then, and things are changing a lot. And I strongly believe that after vaccination has started, there's going to be, it will start to have strong and rapid changes for mainly the second trimester of next year. Thank you, Dr. Simon. Someone on the same sort of topic asked, what type of denials have been rejected at the consulate? Well, we have had, we are applying normally, the patient coordinators are giving you the information to apply with a certain reason, okay? So there's, in the codes that we found inside the Spanish law, there are specific reasons you have to choose. Normally, if they deny, it's because they would say they do not believe your medical treatment is so essential that you have to travel, okay? So then we can, of course, respond to that. This is their main reason. They will say that they do not understand that this is a medical reason enough to travel. But the documents that we provide normally are very strongly against this and showing the importance of the surgery for the patients, reaffirming this.
And in general, we expect to have a positive answer.
And also, sometimes they say no, and we can ask again, and it's provide
Exactly.
documentation, and that often ends up with a positive result. So the first no isn't necessarily definitive. And someone here says they're from the Northeast US, and do we have any recommendations regarding accelerating their surgery, or should they just be patient?
No, I think that any patient that would like to accelerate the surgery and still have not tried the process through the embassies, through the consulates, have to let their coordinator know that they would like to do the surgery as soon as possible. And then the patient coordinator that takes care of you is going to start giving you the documents you need and explain you exactly step by step what you should do to try to accelerate the process. Okay, if there are dates available and we can get the approval, of course we can accelerate it and advance your surgery. Okay.
And approximately how many approvals have we had so far for US and Canadian patients?
I'm not sure right now because of course we had some most of our patients from America before starting with the approval process. We asked which ones wanted to postpone, right? So we have patients that directly postpone surgery for after the first trimester, but we are getting approvals every week. So I think we are now over 8 or 10 patients that are already with approvals to come. Even patients from Australia got approvals. And since we got this contact in the Ministry of Health, we have been having even better results because we are able to contest and say, okay, we got a denial, but this is again, this is the reason we want, and sometimes they can revert the decision. Okay.
Okay, let's see here. Is there a backlog of surgery, and what can we expect once COVID restrictions have been raised?
There is a backlog. We have postponed in 2020. I think we have postponed more than 75 surgeries for 2021. But at the same time, we are being able to reorganize the schedule, not to make any patients wait too long. Okay, so of course we have to work with priorities, and the patients that have been more changed, so we have patients here probably that have changed their dates more than once. Okay, so we are giving priority to those patients, and we will try to fit them as soon as we have a schedule open, and of course as soon as they can come. So don't think that we are considering coldly just a backlog that, okay, this is the schedule, when it opens it comes. No, we are always trying to match the priority of the patients, their need, the fact that they have been waiting a lot. They were very patient with us, and of course we have a patient from Europe that wants to operate next year in March, and this patient doesn't have restrictions, but she didn't wait anything until now, like American patients that have been waiting almost the whole year. So we take all this into account, and we are always leaving spaces for the patients from America and Australia. Okay.
And someone wrote in the chat here that their surgery is programmed for April, and even though they wish they could have their surgery tomorrow, they're willing to wait whatever time they have to wait. And these are unprecedented times, and so they just have to be patient. And someone also is reiterating here the concern regarding the denials, and when denials are approved and the backlog, will that affect their surgery dates if you have a date reserved?
Well, when you have your surgery date, initially it's completely yours, as you know. We will only have to change that if we would come closer to the surgery and there's no restrictions that are lifted, and we have no authorization from the embassy. So if there is only this situation when we are going to have to change date, but we make all we can to keep your date. And again, these are, as another viewer said, we have unprecedented times that we try to solve each week a different type of problem. It's something new for us as well, this new logistics of having to change dates. It was something very rare at Facialteam to change a date. We would operate our patients, and maybe 5 times, 10 times a year that we have to change a date. It was not a normal process. It became a rule for us during this year. Okay, so don't worry. Let's see what happens up to the first trimester. If things go as we think they will still go, restrictions will be much less, much softer by then, and then authorizations will be easier, and even maybe we are able to receive you without any kind of embassy authorization. Okay.
How far in advance can they ask for the travel visas from the US and Canada?
In general, to play safe, our monitor chief, the one that is taking care of this every day, asks to be around 2 months if possible. Okay, 60 days. To give, you can get it sooner, but 60 days to play more safe, because we saw some processes taking longer. Remember that this process depends on which state you are in Canada or in the US, because you have to go to your specific consulate. Your patient coordinator will tell you even to where you have to go. We know from each state, this is the consulate you have to go, or this is the embassy you have to go. Okay, you don't have to find it by yourself. We help you with that. But in general, 60 days would be nice for the preparation.
And once you've sent over the application, it could take anywhere between days and a week or two. So
Yeah.
it's usually not a very long wait.
Yeah.
So someone's asking, will it be possible to get to Marbella in February?
I hope so. I really hope so. As I told you, as we in two different ways that you may be able to come to Marbella if you are in America or Canada, or you are coming without problems because there is no restrictions anymore, or because you get a vaccine, or because there are so many people already with vaccines that the cases are going down in both countries and there is an open movement already. Or you can come because you got a letter from the embassy that authorizes you to come. Okay. So we really hope that in February is like this. I would not bet on February because, as you know, we have been all reading this, of course, but the vaccine being ready, and there are more than one ready, is not enough. We need logistics of distribution. So I'm talking about billions of people needing to get vaccines, and this is not easy, even in America. So we have to wait at least some weeks or couple of months, or 3-4 months, to establish a first wave of vaccination. And before that, I don't know how the governments will react, if they're going to start relaxing the restrictions, or if they're going to still keep very tight until they have a percentage of people already vaccinated. Okay.
Great, thank you. And here somebody's asking about, again, the process for getting approval, if it's changed or not. It hasn't really changed, but it's just that we've made some changes in how we've contacted the ministry in Spain.
Yes, the thing that changed is that our contact with the Ministry of Health was a good contact, because we provided to them directly all the information of what we do here. What is the surgery we do? Who are the patients that come to us? What is the impact on their lives of this surgery? And we base all that with science. So we show them our articles. We show the amount of patients we have waiting for the surgery. So what is interesting is that inside the Ministry of Health, they already changed their mind about the importance of the surgery, but the consulate doesn't know about it. So sometimes the consulate itself will give you the approval, sometimes not, but then we can intercede with the Ministry of Health and they can give a recommendation for the consulate. So what the changes is this, that before they didn't know about the surgery, and now they understand the surgery and they give the correct importance to it. And that's why we are getting more positive responses. Okay.
Fantastic. In the US, in Canada, and in Australia as well. So we have two questions here that are really the same here. People who have their surgery scheduled in May and in July, and they're concerned about delays, whether or not the dates are being moved around a lot. Well, how likely will it be for them to have to reschedule?
Well, as I told you, I don't think that people are going will need to reschedule after the first trimester. This is my bet. I've been evaluating this situation for the whole year, and we have to bet a bit, but it is with some information, and this is what I have been reading in most of the consultation companies that are talking about the markets, the movement, the touristic movements, the airlines, and we believe second trimester is going to already be much less restricted than now. Even if in the second trimester still there's no full transition between countries, I believe that the authorizations are going to be much easier to get. Okay, so Spain, for example, probably will have a very large amount of the population vaccinated in the first trimester. It's a smaller country. It has already a large amount of vaccines bought, so it can be a country already much safer, and then it accepts maybe more people from outside. So we have to see. But right now, I wouldn't worry if I have my surgery booked after April. Okay, I believe that these dates are still completely fine. I wouldn't touch anything.
Okay. Regarding the vaccine,
Yeah.
if someone has received the vaccine, is it going to be an issue?
No, on the contrary. On the contrary, we'll see, because as you know, there are two types of vaccine. We have a vaccine that is given 1 dose, and most of the vaccines is given in 2 doses. Okay, so let's say that we need to consider a patient vaccinated when she got the whole thing. So 2 doses, normally separated by 2 to 3 weeks. A patient with a vaccine, the only thing we need is to observe during the vaccination period if she has any problem, if she has any reaction. But regarding the surgery, there's no problem. And of course, the COVID safe protocol will be kept in place even with patients that had a vaccination. So we are going to keep this until a pandemic is not declared anymore in the world. Then if there's no pandemic, no epidemic even, then we are, say, back to a more relaxed, less restricted routine. But having a vaccination is only a positive thing for you.
Thank you. Here again, a question regarding airline tickets. I don't know how far we can answer on the behalf of airlines, but this person is saying that they can reschedule, but their question is that their surgery is scheduled for January, mid-January, and they would like to know if we have any insight on how long it takes to hear back from the embassy. We already answered that, really.
Yeah, and I strongly advise patients that have surgery in January or February or March to be very in touch with your patient coordinator for any question, because the patient coordinator is inside this advisory, this monitoring that we are doing. So they will give you all the information about your city, your state, the airline. They will help you with it. It's every case is a case. I'm telling you all here a general idea, but it's true that every patient has a different case depending on where they're coming.
Yeah, but the embassy has been pretty good about getting back to us fairly quickly.
Yes.
Could there be an approval for travel and then have it be denied afterwards?
We haven't seen this. When you have an approval for travel, it's an approval that is given by the Spanish authorities. It means when you're going to, if you have your flight, if there is a flight coming from the Colorado and you have a flight that gets to Spain, with that document, you will be permitted to board that flight and you'll be permitted to arrive in Spain. We have not had any kind of problem like this. Okay. There are things that are changing. For example, in the last month, then Spain asked for patients arriving to the country to bring a test, a PCR test with no more than 3 days validity. Okay. But these are things that change dynamically. If the things are starting to improve, then of course, first thing they're going to stop is asking for this test. When the vaccination starts to become more broad, they may use as well, besides of the test, a card that proves that you got the vaccine. So things are changing every day. Okay.
Perfect. So, one just came back up. Is a return travel easier to get approval for?
Well, return travels, there's in the law, not only in Spain, but in the United States, in Brazil, when you are traveling to your country, you don't need approval for it. Okay. So if you are traveling to a country where you have residence or nationality, you have the right to get it. If you have a flight for it, you can go to it. There's no problem at all. Okay. So the authorization that we ask that you're getting is mainly for you if you're American or Canadian and you don't have Spanish nationality or residency. So it's the authorization that you can get to Spain. Going back doesn't require authorization. You are how you say in English, Lydia? Ciudadano? Yeah, citizen. You're a citizen. You're a citizen from that country, and you'll be able to go in. Of course, again, if the only thing that can change, for example, is that let's say an American patient is in Spain, has surgery, and then suddenly the US says that everyone getting to the US, being American or not American, but they need to bring a test, a PCR test that is 3 days validity. Fine, because all our patients, they get a PCR test on the final date. So it's completely in tune with what they could ask in the future. Okay.
In the chat, someone just commented that she has double nationality, Peru and USA. She's monitoring both countries to see which relaxes the travel restrictions first, to see where she goes back to. But yeah, we just had a patient who lives in the US. She has a visa, but she has a Dutch passport and she had no problem, but she did have to go to another country bordering the US. In her case, it was Mexico, for a 2-week quarantine before she can return. So, but for US citizens with a US passport, I think you can fly back directly.
Yes, yeah.
As far as we know to the date, there are no quarantine.
No.
Yeah. So those are, oh, here we have another question. I postponed my surgery twice since the start of the pandemic. I'm not sure if it will be safe to travel in May. So in terms of the infection rate of the US, I'll definitely stay with Facialteam for my surgeries if the surgeries have to be postponed in light of the situation, the COVID situation. So
yeah, we understand, and believe when I say how frustrated we are, and we have been the whole year about this. It's I know you don't blame us, I know, of course, but we are frustrated as well. And yes, this is what I told this to many patients I've been talking privately during their consultations from America or Australia, that I just believe that it's worth it. We are getting to the end. The pandemic now is horrible right now, of course. It's being now almost the worst numbers we're having in most countries, but it's the first time we see this light at the end of the tunnel. We have a vaccine coming from different brands, so there's going to be many different options. And we strongly believe that 2021 is not going to be still an easy year, but it's going to be the year where things settle, okay? So then, of course, it's much better for you to have a little bit more patience if we have to postpone one more time. There is a possibility, I need to be clear, of course, but at the end of the day, we're talking about some more months to get the surgery that you wanted to have with the team that you want to have. And I believe it's worth it. We'll be waiting for you. And as I told you, we are not just waiting. We are working to improve things so that when you arrive, you get the best possible facial team that ever existed in the last years. Okay?
Absolutely. We remain by your side. So at the moment, there are no questions pending in our Q&A box or in the chat.
Yep.
Please put in your claps and your comments to let us know that this was useful for you. Olivia just put in a question here. Is there an exact script for what I should say when I contact the embassy to authorize travel?
Yes, yeah, that is. And this you have to get from your patient coordinator. There are steps and script and documents. Okay, so yes, talk to your coordinator and she's going to help you.
Yeah, we have templates for a lot of different documents. And so they often ask for more information and we're prepared for that.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions? Does everyone getting surgery need approval? I'm in Canada.
Well, right now, anyone coming during this law that we have right now, this restriction situation, everyone coming from Canada or America that doesn't have an European passport needs approval. Okay, we have not seen a case where you can travel. I think you're not able to board in the airline. Okay, they don't because they know you're going to be sent back. So you need to come with this approval. The approval is a visa. It's a visa that you are able to travel, so you'll be accepted to go in. Consider the fact that there are now hundreds of flights going between Europe and America. There are many flights, but these flights are being used by people that are going for business, medical treatment, or because they are going through their own countries. Europeans that are going to America, but they have a passport from America, or vice versa. Right now, I am in Brazil because I am Brazilian, and I'm not able to go back to Spain, but I am because I have a European passport as well. So I came to Brazil and I can go in without problem and can go back to Spain without a problem. So there are people moving, but if you don't have one of these reasons, you cannot fly. That's why you need, if you don't have a passport from Europe, you need a visa. And this visa is what you need to get with the consulate or the embassy. And this is what we will help you with. During this period, after this, of course, we should go to the normal situation where we can travel without any kind of visa. The Schengen area, Europe and America never required any kind of visa to travel between. To go to the United States, the only thing that I have to do is the STA, right? The document online, which is a simple thing. And I think it's vice versa with you. So it's not a real visa that you need, okay?
Yeah, there's a couple of questions on that same topic. Just ask your coordinator if you need any of the documents for the application. As Dr. Simon said, a visa is required for Canadians and US citizens at the moment. And then once you have the visa, you'll also need to do a little survey, the health survey, Spanish health survey. All travelers to Spain need to fill it in. It's online, it's very easy, and it doesn't cost anything. Someone here is asking Dr. Simon, what is the cost of the visa? Is there a cost involved?
It's a good question, Lilia. I don't know. I don't know right now if there is a cost involved in the visa. Do you know,
I don't think there is a cost.
No,
I'm
not sure. And they never mentioned a cost for me.
No. I'm not 100% sure either, but if there is, it's nominal, but I'm pretty sure that there's no cost.
Okay.
If I have someone accompanying me, this is a good question too. Is it possible to also get approval for them to travel as well? A companion, a partner?
Yeah, it's less easy because you have to be able to justify that you need, but it's not impossible. We also got patients that got it because during the same application, you will justify that because being a medical treatment, you need help and support, and in general, it's going to be as well. And on the papers that we have, we also prepared this their companionship authorization permission. Okay, so we have this included as well in the papers, in the templates.
And the system for Australians is extremely stringent, and we've managed to get companions approved for Australian patients. So we're ready for any US or Canadian companions as well. Someone here is just saying this has been so helpful, informative. Thank you. You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Are there any other questions here, everybody? Thank you. Thank you. We're the best, someone is saying here. Thank you so much. We try. Kisses back to you too, Anonymous. So if there aren't any further questions, here's someone saying that this is why they're willing to wait. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I wish you all have a very safe and beautiful end of the year, that your families are safe. I'm here with my family as well, more isolated, trying to go, wishing for this year to end and start a new year that I believe is going to be wonderful. And we'll be in touch with you if you need anything as well on a private way. So this was a general information. Any of you that want to discuss individual situation with the coordinators or with the surgeons, you just have to ask your coordinator, and we can Skype with you. You will meet us. We can talk online, and it can be me, Capitan, Gutierrez. Any of your surgeons can discuss technical things as well. So yeah, I really hope to receive you all next year, and we'll be ready for you. Okay.
Some more people saying thank you, thank you, thank you all very much. And I don't think I need to ask for authorizations from anyone because we didn't have anybody's mic open today. So again, thank you. Remember, we remain by your side, and please keep up to date. If you'd like to, we have a newsletter, and we have a Facebook patient group, which I recommend all of you to sign up for or to join. And I'm going to put those links here in our chat. But if you don't get them, then please do ask your coordinator about our newsletter, or you can sign up on our website or joining the Facebook patient group. And if you just look up Facialteam patient group on Facebook, then you'll find us. And I'm there, I'm the admin, and I'll accept you into the group. It's really a great resource. So, and those are ways to keep up to date with what's happening. And we are pretty active in that group and through our newsletter, which is only monthly. We don't bother you. So thank you again. Well done, Dr. Simon.
Thank you, Lilia. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everyone, and have a nice year. Bye-bye.